Hi guys, welcome to this live stream. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I have breaking news. Breaking news about Weight Watchers, and we're going to get into it in just a moment. So thank you so much for being here at whatever time you join this live stream. It is great to have you with me today. So there is breaking news around Weight Watchers. We have seen so much fluctuation, so much change around Weight Watchers in recent years. For many years, Weight Watchers was the stronghold share, had the strongest share, the lion's share in the health and the wellness industry for so many years. And their share price was at an all-time high a few years ago, and it steadily declined with so much competition coming into the market from lots of other weight loss companies here in the UK, Slimming World, for example, but also with the rise of apps. We've seen so many apps arise. We've had MyFitnessPal, there's Healthy, there's just so many different apps. And then with so many different methods to lose weight. So many, we've seen the rise of keto has been massive. We've seen paleo, we've seen intermittent fasting, we've seen the carnivore diet. There's just so many things, and of course there's the liquid diets have always been around. There has been huge competition for Weight Watchers, and whilst Weight Watchers has been going 60 years and they entered the market at a time that diets and dieting wasn't really big, they grew a massive business, a global business, on the backs of an infant industry supporting people with weight loss and leading healthier lives and helping people learn how to lose weight. But in recent years there's been so much change. So much change has come up for Weight Watchers. And in recent years, we've seen Weight Watchers, their share price has fallen steadily, but has fallen. Then in 2021, Weight Watchers announced the closure of its workshops in Ireland. And that was a massive blow for the Irish community. And Weight Watchers withdrew from that country for all sorts of reasons, but no doubt it will have been financial. They withdrew. And then COVID hit. And COVID had a massive impact on all businesses, on every single type of business, including Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers had to close their doors. They had to close their studios, the same way that every other business was shut. They didn't quite recover from that, but in my opinion, recovered more than lots of other businesses. Some businesses didn't recover at all and completely closed. And we've seen in America, Jenny Craig has closed, or Jenny Craig in America has actually closed their doors. They've gone into administration. They've completely gone out of business. But Weight Watchers here in the global Weight Watchers has been trying to recover. And yes, they are nowhere near the type of business that they were pre-COVID. In the UK, I have it on good authority that before COVID, there were thousands of workshops up and down the country, and thousands of coaches, about 1,300 coaches, according to their website in the UK. But as of recent years, last year, it's fallen to about 300 to 400 in the UK. And we know the same has happened also in America. It's absolutely decimated. Weight Watchers, because they couldn't bring back their studio workshops for all sorts of reasons, you know, and reasons that I'm not aware of. They couldn't, and it could just be that lots of coaches had been made redundant. They didn't have the coaches to run those workshops. It could also be that the venues that they were using didn't want Weight Watchers back. It could also be that the community didn't have the confidence to go back. There were so many reasons why that many of us will never know, will never understand. However, in the UK and in the US and in other markets, Weight Watchers has made an effort to recover. And for many people, it's not been a big enough effort, but that's what it is. And in recent days, we have heard last week that Oprah, who was a 10% shareholder in Weight Watchers, has resigned from the board of Weight Watchers. Again, they've not stated why, but there is a lot of speculation that it is due to her using GLP-1 medication. And we also know that Weight Watchers has bought a company called Sequence and has integrated it into their business so that they are now offering, in America, they offer the weight loss drugs, the GLP-1 medications. I don't know how it works in other countries, but here in the UK, they offer only support. So people have to go to their medical practitioners, their GP, their consultants, or they can buy it privately. And then once they have access to the drug, Weight Watchers support those individuals to make healthy choices around that. So we've seen that change with Weight Watchers. We've not seen workshops reopen to the capacity that they had. We've not seen them recruit to the capacity that they had previously. And on the surface, the business seems to have shrunk. So a lot of change for Weight Watchers, a huge amount of change. Now, Weight Watchers has operated in a global market, and the countries that they have operated in, and I believe still operating, is Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, both French and English-speaking Canada, Germany, France, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Switzerland, Sweden, the United Kingdom, and the United States. And what we do know is that in 2021, Weight Watchers withdrew from Ireland. The breaking news, guys, is that Weight Watchers has made the decision that from the 1st of May, they are withdrawing from the Brazilian market. Weight Watchers will no longer exist in Brazil from the 1st of May 2024. They are ending both their virtual workshops and all their in-person workshops. Breaking news. What is going on with Weight Watchers? That is the big question. We've seen them leave Ireland 3 years ago. There is absolutely nothing in Ireland, no workshops at all in Northern Ireland. And people in the Republic of Ireland can access virtuals, and they have a system. From what I understand, it can be quite a complicated system to be able to access the app and virtuals in the UK, but there is no facility for Weight Watchers in Northern Ireland. Absolutely nothing. They completely withdrawn. And now they have announced that they are exiting Brazil. Now, I have this on very, very good authority. Now, because Weight Watchers are, I can only imagine that they are a small concern in Brazil. I've not found any news about that on the internet. However, I have it on very, very good authority. I've had good confirmation that that is the case. So that will be one market less, another market less. What is happening to WeightWatchers? WeightWatchers, the company that has been the lion's share, the stronghold of the weight loss industry for so many years. So many people know Weight Watchers. Their parents have done Weight Watchers. Their grandparents have done Weight Watchers. Their aunts and uncles, their friends, their colleagues, everybody have heard of Weight Watchers and have had some interaction with it, whether it's they've been a member, their family or friends have been a member, they've seen their advertising, they've seen their website. It is firm in our psyche as the weight loss company. But they are now leaving yet another country. From the 1st of May, Weight Watchers is exiting Brazil. I don't know whether it was a big concern in Brazil. It might have only been a small business in Brazil. I do believe that most of the membership from Weight Watchers, and I do believe that Weight Watchers has millions. They have millions of members. The bulk of those members are in North America, so America and Canada. They are or were a big concern in the UK, and also I do believe a significant concern in Australia. And I don't know the size of the markets in Europe and in other parts of the world, but it's concerning. It is very concerning. It makes me think of all of those employees, all those coaches and the back office staff who from the 1st of May and we're the 3rd of March. So in 2 months' time, less than 2 months, they will be unemployed. They will be completely out of job. That's worrying. That's worrying. So my heart goes out to all of those employees who are going to be out of a job in Brazil. And then all those members. And again, I don't know whether it was a big concern. I don't know if they've had thousands of members or a few hundreds. I don't know. But all of those members are going to be let down. So it's worrying. It is worrying. So with the share prices plummeting, gone into a tailspin this week, with Oprah announcing that she's no longer a director on the board of Weight Watchers, with Weight Watchers closing Ireland 3 years ago, and now they've announced that they are leaving Brazil. Here in the UK, we've seen the business shrink. We've seen workshops close. They've not been revived. We've seen so much change. And the shop closed. Yes, so much have gone. I remember back in the day, we had the magazines that went. And so many people love those magazines. That was something I always bought every month when I went to my studio workshop. Always bought the magazines, loved reading those stories, loved flicking through those recipes. Those have all gone. And then we saw change with, COVID, and COVID did a lot, and I'm sure COVID was responsible for lots and lots and lots of businesses closing or shrinking. And as I said, Jenny Craig in America, they've gone into administration, they've gone. And so many other businesses, not just in the weight loss industries, but in the world in general, has gone or has shrunk. We look at the high street. The high street is decimated. It's all going online. The high street has become a ghost town. So COVID was responsible for a lot, and Weight Watchers closed. They had to close a lot of workshops, but they didn't reopen them for all sorts of reasons, but not least of all because they'd made so many coaches redundant. So with all of that, we then saw more change. The program changed. We went from when I rejoined, we had smart points, and then we changed to my way, where we had the 3 colored plans, and then we changed to personal points. I'm sure I'm missing one, but we've had so many changes. It went to personal points, and then it's gone to what it is now. Then they introduced the GLP-1 medication. They bought Sequence. But in the meantime, they closed the shop. Yes, Horatio and Tony, they closed the shop. And they closed Ireland. And now they've announced that they are closing Brazil. So, yeah, so Nita, good afternoon. Great to have you with me today. So you say that they are looking at financial sustainability in different countries and drawing back to a much smaller viable option. You think that the UK will be one of the last to go due to the relationship with the US, and that's possible. And I do agree with you. You know, for me, it's mixed emotions. You know, I've grown up with Weight Watchers being in my psyche, right back from the 70s. Yeah, it's been in my psyche, it's been in our community. And I feel quite sad to see how it is shrinking. Whether or not they're shrinking financially or they're profitable, I don't know. But what we do know, which is public out there, is that their share prices is not as strong as it used to be. It's really fallen. But then this week, it's gone into tailspin after Oprah has made her announcement. So that is a concern. But it's, it's always been there. It's always been there. And I've come and gone over the years. But I've always known that I could go back to Weight Watchers because it wasn't going anywhere. My studio workshops was always going to be there. Always knew that there was going to be a plan in the community. It's not there anymore. It's gone. It's gone. So I feel very sad for that something that has been in our community, in our psyche, in our atmosphere isn't there in the strength that it used to be. So on that level, I'm sad. But also, I completely understand that they have business decisions to make. And we are living in a tough world of business. And we look at so many businesses. As I mentioned before, the high street is now, it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town. So many businesses have gone. A lot of the big brands and the big names have gone or have shrunk. I think of Marks and Spencer's. I think of British Home Stores. That was a classic. They've disappeared. Marks and Spencer's, they've shrunk. They've gone online. Even I used to love going to Waterstones, and there was nothing better for me than a Saturday afternoon going to Waterstones, having a coffee and a bite to eat, and flicking through some books and then choosing books that I was going to buy. Waterstones is not on my local high streets anymore. It's all online. So many businesses have had to adapt and they've had to change. And I get that. I totally get that. And so I get that Weight Watchers have had to look at their business model, to look at where are we making money, what is sustainable, what can we grow and develop for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Let's put our energies into that. And where are we hemorrhaging money? What's not working? What's not profitable? What's draining us? And let's shut that. Let's close that. So I totally get that. I totally get that. You know, you don't have a high, if you had a high street shop and nobody was coming in, it doesn't make sense to keep it open. You're losing money hand over fist. The sensible thing to do is to either look to deliver the business in another form, maybe online, or to close it. So I get that. I get that. And you do that for the greater good. But at the same time, for me, it's a worry. It is a concern. It is a concern that in 3 years, they've left 2 markets. What is next? Who is next? And what will it look like for the communities? So I can see I've got lots and lots of comments coming in. Let me just have a break and read a few. So yeah, Tony, you've seen the big decline in Weight Watchers over the past few years. Yes, we have, particularly since COVID. I know for me, before COVID, there was lots of workshops. There was one literally, I could walk to it from where I live. And there was about 6 or 7 just in my local area. I had the pick of them on different nights. Now, those are gone. I've just got one, and it's not in walking distance, it's a drive. And I'm lucky. I'm still lucky because I know that some people have to travel miles, 10, 20, 30 miles. I heard somebody say the other day they have to drive 40 miles to get to their nearest workshop. And then if the coach is on holiday or if the coach is sick, there's no, that's it, it's closed. So, you know, yeah, we've seen a lot of change, a lot of change. So yeah, it has declined. Yeah, Horatio, it's a shame. Yeah, Tony, you remember 123 Success? Yeah, I remember that too, back in the day. Anita, you've only ever been with Weight Watchers and originally got to goal in 1981. Fantastic. Well done, Nita. Well done, my lovely. And yes, you are right. They are a business and the pound is king. Yeah, the US pound in this case. So yes. Oh, right, Cheryl, yes. I mean, you will be able to watch it on Rewind. You could replay it and you'll be able to watch it, my lovely, when I've finished. But yes, you know, it is a business, and no matter how disappointed we are that we don't have the shop, that we don't have the magazines, that the plan keeps changing, that, you know, we don't have coaches and workshops, that things have changed, that they see that they've, you know, leaning more towards the GLP-1 medication. And obviously they're doing that because that's bringing them money. With all these changes, as a business, they have to put the business decisions first, because they've got to survive. They've got to find a way to survive. And I totally get that. Totally get that, you know. But for us, the member, wanting that support, needing that support, it almost feels like this is the offering now. We either use that offering, we use what's available, or that's it. So yeah, you know, I will just say, in saying that, you know, because of the locality for me for my workshop, and I appreciate it's pretty close to me compared to some people, I choose to use virtuals. I choose to use that. and I really value the virtuals. I love the virtuals. I can go on as many virtuals as I want every single day, and they are fantastic quality. And the past 2 weeks virtuals has been stunning. So much inspiration, so much support. I actually love the virtuals, but that's me. But I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. I heard someone say, I had somebody say in a workshop that they had gone to their workshop, and in a room of about 30 people, I can't remember the exact numbers, but in a room of about 30 members, only a tiny percent, like 4 or 5 people, actually ever used the virtuals. And I'm like, that is such a shame, because the virtuals are fantastic. So it's a shame that people don't want to use those. And I did get to access some data, um and I was very interested in how many members Weight Watchers has in the UK. And at the time, this is about 2 or 3 years ago, they had something, oh gosh, it was thousands. I can't, please don't quote me on this because I can't remember it, but it was something like 70 or 80,000 members in the UK, if not more. And then I was told that during all the changes and after COVID, it had fallen to about 30,000 members. Or had they lost 30,000 members? Please don't quote me on this. Please don't quote me on this. But they lost a lot of members due to COVID. And I remember asking, and it came from a very good source. And I remember asking, what percentage of the membership of Weight Watchers members use virtuals? And the response came back that it was less than 10%. And that came from a very, very good source. Less than 10% of Weight Watchers members in the UK used virtuals. So with that, I thought, well, I could then see why the membership has fallen, because people are not giving virtuals a try. They're not giving it a chance. I was very dubious about them. I was like, I don't see how this is going to work, but I absolutely love them. Love the virtuals. But I think because people decide they don't want to use the virtuals, I think the membership has fallen. People then vote with their feet. They leave. They go to the competitors. They do it on their own. They use all these other apps that are available to them. And I think, in the absence of Weight Watchers bringing back and opening up studio workshops, and I don't know why they're not doing that, I think we will see that struggle, an even further decline in the UK, not unless they can, do something and turn things around for those people who want those workshops. And I think, do you know what? And I think part of it is conditioning, that for 60 years, Weight Watchers has been all about the scales. Weight Watchers has, sometimes we die on our own sword. Sometimes we die on our own sword. We create that sword, we sharpen it, we stand it up as a pinnacle, and then something happens and we fall on it. And I think because Weight Watchers has always, since its inception, the Jean Niditch story, Jean Niditch, who founded the company, she started the company because she got some advice from her doctor, and it didn't help her. So it was lacking the support. So she invited some friends round, and each week they would talk about how they were doing, and they were supporting each other. And that's how her business started. So Weight Watchers has always been, for 60 years, it's always been about going to workshops and getting weighed at that workshop and getting that support. And I've been to many workshops where people just come, get weighed, and they go. They don't stay for the support. But that has always been Weight Watchers' model, and they have built that model. And that model is firmly ingrained in people's minds. We think Weight Watchers, we think studio workshop, or the classes, or the meetings as they were called. And we think of that. That is what we think of. Weight Watchers, meetings, weigh-in, scales. That's what we think of. And after COVID, it's been a culture change where Weight Watchers is trying to get people to think, no, think of Weight Watchers, think of either your workshop or your virtual. And I personally don't think that Weight Watchers has done enough or is doing enough to change that culture, to get people to think studio or virtual. In fact, I would say there's no effort to get people to think virtual first and then studio. Because if they keep promoting studio, a lot of people don't have studio workshops. They just don't have that. Whereas if they promoted Weight Watchers virtuals and made virtual synonymous with Weight Watchers, then that would over time be ingrained within people's mindset. And then if you have a studio workshop to go to, you're very lucky. But I don't think they do enough. And you only have to look at their website. And for me, it's completely confusing. Completely confusing, not to mention the prices keep changing every 10 days. It's completely confusing. I mean, core and premium, what are they? What is that? Unless you know, you don't know. So for me, I'm going for the cheaper one. But it doesn't even explain what you get for that. And if you go for premium, it doesn't explain what you're entitled to under that membership. But then they promote core first. And the core is just access to the app. Whereas I think if they promoted premium first and explained that this is the app and virtuals and workshops and access to your coaches, it would become a lot clearer. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So I don't think that Weight Watchers do enough to make it clear. And I don't about their membership options. I don't think the change in prices help. Every 10 days it changes. So if you've bought a membership at $26.95 and then, you know, a few days later you see the same membership going for like £11, it's like, what on earth is going on? So I think there's a lot of confusion there. I'd like to see them promote as part of the membership virtuals first and then workshop, and just make everything so much clearer. And I think that they haven't done that in a time which is critical, because it feels like they're hemorrhaging. They're hemorrhaging members, they're hemorrhaging, people, they're hemorrhaging as a business, they're hemorrhaging finances. And that's why I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but what we do know is they closed Ireland, and now they've announced that on the 1st of May they are withdrawing from Brazil. So yeah, it's interesting. Let's see, we've got lots more comments in the chat box. Thank you so much for being with me today, guys. So Horatio, you tried Slimming World, you gave it 6 months, but you could never get on with their program. You much prefer Weight Watchers. Yeah, let's hope that they stay afloat. Indeed, let's hope they do. Let's hope that they stay afloat, at least in the UK. and in Europe as well, and all those countries that they're still in Australia, Germany, Canada, and US. And I know that it's some parts of Weight Watchers, it's a franchise. So they have Weight Watchers Global and they have Weight Watchers International, and some of it is a franchise. I know Ireland was a franchise. So yeah, and then when the franchise came up, I don't think they renewed it. So yeah, who knows? Who's know? It sounds like quite a complicated business, bit like their website, to be honest. Horatio, you love the virtuals. I do. I absolutely love the websites. And Tony, I've never in my entire life seen Weight Watchers so cheap. £8 a month for a certain amount of time is unreal. Yeah, they do absolutely really, really, really cheap deals. They really do. But it changes all the time. And if you've bought a membership at the full price and then you're sat on a virtual or sat in a room with somebody who's got it for £8, exactly the same thing, it's not a good feeling. Yeah. You paid, Horatio, you paid £6 for the last 6 months and now you're paying 26.95. Yeah, £6 a month is a fantastic deal. Yeah, but it goes up, it does go up. So yeah, and Tony, the Weight Watchers adverts are rubbish to what they used to be, a big drop in advertising. Yeah, and again, I think that's about budget. Advertising is very, very, very expensive. So yeah, they're probably saving costs there. And the other thing that I've noticed is they're not using ambassadors. Have you noticed? They're not using ambassadors. They used to use ambassadors. In the UK, we had Lorraine Kelly, and she was a huge ambassador, not less because she is a TV presenter on a very popular morning breakfast show. So she was a great ambassador. She lost loads of weight with the support of a coach. She really sang the praises. She did a lot in terms of Instagram and YouTube, and she was very active. She lost a lot of weight, and then next thing we know, she's no longer an ambassador. The deal that she had on the website completely disappeared, literally overnight. And I used to follow some of the ambassadors in America, all gone. They had celebrity ambassadors, and then they also had member ambassadors, and now they're not using any of them. And I imagine it's around cost saving money. And I get that. They have to find ways to save money for the greater good. But yeah, just another change. And also, they're not advertising as well. We're not seeing those adverts. Well, I say that I don't really watch mainstream TV, and that's where the adverts used to come on. But yeah, I know, like in magazines and stuff, we're not seeing that. Again, cost cutting exercises, and I get that they have to do that. And Horatio say, you've noticed that the last discount, which ended last week, was just for the core membership. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what the thinking is behind the memberships, what they promote and their pricing, but it just seems to me confusing. If I go to British Gas, for example, for my gas and electricity, I know it's a fixed price for myself and for everybody for the duration. It's not like 1 week it's this or next week it's changed. It's a fixed price. So yeah, it's very changeable, very strange. And good afternoon, Deanna. Great to have you with me today. So yeah, lots and lots going on with Weight Watchers. Concerning is all I'm going to say. Yeah, concerning. So it's going to be interesting to see what the next thing is. So they closed Ireland 3 years ago, 2021. That was during COVID. Made loads of coaches redundant, kept swapping up and changing the app. They've bought a company called Sequence, which is, supporting people around weight loss drugs. And, I did a live last week talking about that. And personally, I have no problems with that. Absolutely no problems. And I think that um, if people choose to use weight loss drugs with the support of their medical practitioners, brilliant. I think Weight Watchers has positioned themselves brilliantly to support people who make that choice. The same way that they, for 60 years, have supported people with their eating habits, with lifestyle, with weight loss. Weight Watchers, the Weight Watchers program, in my opinion, is a tool, the same way that weight loss medications, weight loss surgery, hypnotherapy, any other intervention is a tool. It is just another tool. So whatever tool works for you, I'm happy for you. Go for it. Go for it. Make it work for you. But whatever tool you use, put those healthy habits in place. And I'm really pleased to see that that is Weight Watchers positioning on it. It's not just about, here you go, here's some medication, or there's that drug out there. Not that Weight Watchers is doing that. It's different in America. In America, people can go to them via their telehealth side of the business, speak to medical practitioners, fill out surveys and questionnaires, and have that assessment to see whether they're suitable. And that way they can access the drug. Here in the UK, it's completely separate to Weight Watchers. You have to go to your GP or your doctor or consultant and get a prescription and then get the drug. And it makes absolute sense that Weight Watchers has accessed and capitalizing on that. Absolute sense, because other than that, you would have people getting the drugs off the doctor and not knowing what to do with it and not getting the support. So I love that Weight Watchers has seen the opportunity and said, okay, it's out there. We've not influenced that. It's out there. And we are going to offer services to support people taking those medications. And, you may have heard me say in the past, and I'm completely upfront with you guys about my journey. And before I rejoined Weight Watchers in 2019, I was using GLP-1 medications. It was a GLP-2 because it's since been modified and reviewed. And I was using Victoza and Bydureon, not together at different times. And I had exactly that experience. I was taking it for my diabetes because my consultant felt that I needed it to lose the weight, and that will then impact my diabetes. And I was just given a prescription, and there you go. Just, take the injection twice a day, and that was it. Left with this prescription, left with this drug, and there was absolutely no support. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. And I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know anything about it. So I started taking it, but I wasn't in the right headspace. So, and that I had to take, I think it was twice a day, every day. Couldn't cope with that because I had loads of things going on. So he swapped me to Bydureon, which was once a week. And again, wrote out the prescription, collected it from the chemist, injected it once a week, and that was it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Didn't know that I needed to change my eating habits. Nothing, absolutely. It was like I was stuck out in the middle of the ocean, just on my own. So I have the utmost respect for Weight Watchers to say, do you know what? This medication is out there. People are going to take it if prescribed. How can we support people? So I am so pleased that they've done that, because to be honest, I've not seen any other business do that. There may be some out there, but it's just that I'm not aware of. But I'm really pleased that Weight Watchers have had the business sense to say, do you know what? There's an opportunity here. Let's jump in and do what we do best and support people taking this drug and help them to put in place healthy habits so that when they use the drug, they can see success. But also, as at whatever point they decide to come off the drug, they can continue seeing success because they're putting healthy habits in place. Because I see people saying that the danger with these drugs is the minute you stop taking it, you put the weight back on. That is not just limited to the drug. That is about healthy habits. It's, I've seen people stop doing Weight Watchers, stop tracking, and they still put weight on, put all the weight on and more. And we hear it all the time in the community. People might have lost 3 or 4 stone. They stop coming for a year or a year and a half, and they return 6 stones heavier. So it's not just limited to these medication. That, I think, is a myth. If you put healthy habits in place, or you don't have healthy habits in place, it's not sustainable. So if you lose weight naturally, and you don't put healthy habits in place, when you stop tracking or following the program, you're going to gain that weight back. And likewise, and Horatio, yeah, that happened to you. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nita. We've got me. Oh, thank you, my darling. And likewise with the GLP-1 medications, if you're using them and you're seeing success, good for you. Brilliant. Delighted for you. But Weight Watchers is saying we're going to come in and we're going to provide support the same way they did with the NHS pre-diabetic program, came in, supported people so that at the point that they're no longer pre-diabetic, they have learned healthy habits. And those healthy habits, as long as they keep practicing them, will help them to keep that weight off. And likewise with the GLP medications, Weight Watchers is supporting them with their workshops to put healthy habits in place, and so that if they decide to come off those medications at any point, they are leaning on those healthy habits. So yeah, I'm really pleased that Weight Watchers is in that space supporting people, because at the end of the day, it's hard whether you're losing it by medication, injections, you've had surgery, you're doing hypnotherapy, what you're counting calories, whatever. We choose our hard. And you've got to find what's doable for you. So I'm really pleased that they're doing that. So yeah, but and maybe, maybe it's that in countries where Weight Watchers can access contracts, such as the NHS contracts, maybe it's in countries that GLP-1 medication are available and prevalent and people are using them. Maybe that's, where Weight Watchers has said, we need to put our resources into these countries. And maybe those countries such as Brazil don't have health contracts that they can access. Maybe they don't have, easy access to GLP-1 medications, and therefore the business opportunities isn't as great there. So I'm sure there is all sorts of reasons why Weight Watchers has made that decision to close and exit from Brazil. Yeah, time will tell. And as I said, when I got the news on really good authority, I did jump straight on the internet, but couldn't find anything about it. which makes me think that the business in Brazil is very small, very small. I think if Weight Watchers closed in England, it would be massive news. If it closed in America, that would be massive news. It had ripples in when it closed in Ireland, but it wasn't international, it wasn't global news when they closed in Ireland because it was small. It was a small business. So that could be why the information isn't out there about Brazil closing. But yeah, there you go, guys. That is it. What is the future for Weight Watchers? What do you think? What is your views? Pop it in the comments box. I'd love to know. But yeah, I just felt really sad when I heard that news. Not least because of all the staff that are going to be losing their jobs, the coaches and all the back office staff going to be unemployed, but also all those members who rely on Weight Watchers. I don't know how long Weight Watchers has been in Brazil, by the way. If anybody knows, do let me know. So, Horatio, you're saying if GPs are prescribing GLP-1s for their patients, then they can direct them to Weight Watchers to support them. Think that was a shrewd move. Indeed, I totally agree with you. And I don't know how that works. I don't know whether there is a contract in place with the NHS. I don't know, but Weight Watchers can be very savvy at times. So I'm imagining there is contracts with the NHS so that patients on being prescribed GLP-1s can be referred to Weight Watchers as a provider. They may be working with other providers. I don't know, maybe Slimming World or maybe small independent ones. I do know that some chemists, because I know somebody on GLP-1s at the moment, and they do say that they're getting some support via their chemist who prescribes the GLP-1. But I can only imagine that's only going to be small. It's not going to be like a group support that like Weight Watchers does. So interesting. But yes, so guys, there we go. That is the news. Horatio, suppose it depends on how many patients are using those drugs. Yeah. Again, I get it on good authority that Weight Watchers has had, I think it's 4 times more patients on the people on the GLP-1 drugs than they had expected, which I thought was very interesting. 4 times. It's either 3 or 4 times, but it was a lot more than they expected. Yeah, 3 or 4 times more than they expect. I'm just trying to think. I just want to get it right for you. Yeah, 3 times. 3 times more subscribers. Yeah, that was it. Remember now. 3 times more subscribers using GLP-1 medications than they expected. So I think that's interesting because despite lots of people having lots of opinions on Oprah, on the drugs, on whether Weight Watchers should be involved in it, despite everybody having an opinion, numbers will always speak for themselves. I think people who are unhappy with something will always speak the loudest. They will always have the loudest voice. But people who want it, who are using it, who are happy with it, who need it, are just like, you know what? I'm just going to crack on and do it. So yeah, 3 times more subscribers to the GLP-1s than they expected. So that is interesting. So Nita, you say that the UK will survive for a while yet, but you doubt the face-to-face offer world. Yeah. It's interesting. It's, who knows? Who knows? Um, yeah, who knows? Yeah, sometimes it's just hard to know. I've often thought that they might just completely close all of their studio workshops because they've done that. They've done that in other countries. In Europe, they've done that. I'm just trying to think which country it is now. Um, oh, Switzerland. I've got a feeling it's either Switzerland or Sweden. Yeah. So we know now that they're completely out of Ireland. They've announced that they closed Brazil. That Brazil is closing on the 1st of May. And I'm pretty sure that in Sweden or Switzerland, it's one of those. This is a little while back now. Maybe about 18 months, 2 years ago now, they announced that they were closing studio workshops in those countries, and it was just now going to be online. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure. So it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if Weight Watchers said we're going to close all studio workshops in the UK and put all our efforts and resources into virtuals. Wouldn't surprise me one iota. And in fact, I'm literally just waiting for the announcement. I'm waiting. And it will be an extremely sad day. It really, truly would break my heart. It would be a sad day, if nothing else, for all of those coaches who work ridiculously hard to keep their studio workshops buoyant and to keep those numbers coming in and to keep it running. But I can see that. I really can see that. I can see them shrinking and saying we're moving everything online like they did in one of those European countries. So Horatio, you say you wonder if Weight Watchers are the only health company providing support for GLP-1s. You haven't heard of any others offering the support. I haven't either. I haven't heard of any major companies. I don't think Weight Watchers, I don't think Slimming World is doing that. I've not heard, but I could be wrong. It could just be that it's in the pipelines, but I've not heard Slimming World doing that. I did come across a small consultancy. It was a man and woman. I don't know if they were a doctor or a nurse. I don't know, but it was two individuals were promoting on Facebook, offering support, obviously for a fee. And then, as I say, somebody I know who's taking GLP-1s told me that they get support from their chemist. But other than that, I've not heard of any other company, and I'm sure there will be. It's just I've not heard of that. Yeah, yeah. Anita, the virtual offer won't carry the same amount of cost. Indeed, they still carry cost, but not as much, because they have to pay for travel, setup, mileage, the venue costs. All of those costs are extras. But with virtuals, they would have to pay here in the UK, the HMRC, the tax office allows or companies to pay people working at home a base rate to cover gas and electricity and utilities. So that would be a cost. But they don't have to pay mileage and they don't have to pay venue costs. So a lot less costs running virtuals. I think people who go to virtuals absolutely love them. They love them. But as I mentioned before, I'd got it on good authority that um that that's only about 10%. 10% of the membership uses virtuals. The other 90% don't use virtuals, either do it by themselves or support their local studio. But with so many studios closing, they may be like, you know what, we're just going to close the lot. Yeah. I can't quite remember the number. I think it was something like, well, back in the day, there was about 1,300 coaches. That was what they said on the website. And I'm pretty sure I heard a figure of about 9,000 workshops, studio workshops across the country pre-COVID. And I could see that was realistic because, as I mentioned, I had loads in my little area. There was loads. I had one in walking distance. There was loads, different days of the week. Now there's one and I have to drive to it. So that would ring about 9,000 across the country, but also in the Isle of Wight, the Channel Islands, and all those little islands around the UK. But they're all gone now. They're all gone. But yeah, Maureen, you're absolutely right. No one can run a business at a loss. No one can, And I mentioned earlier that if you set up a little shop on the high street and you're not making money, if nobody's coming in buying your services, you're losing money hand over fist. You've got to close it. It's the only sensible thing to do. You either diversify, maybe take it online, but more often than not, you move on, you adapt, or you end up closing it. You can't run at a loss. And I get that. I absolutely get that. And that's why it's mixed feelings for me. It's sad to see it go, and sad for the employees who's losing their job and the members, but also completely understand if it's running at a loss, it's not sustainable. It has to go. Yeah, indeed, Nita, economies of scale. And Tony, yeah, people are doing calorie counting. Do you know what? But the thing is, there are so many different ways to lose weight. Thank you so much for being with me today, Nita. You go and enjoy your nana duties, my darling. You enjoy that, and I'll see you soon. There are so many different ways to lose weight. So many. And I mentioned some of them before. You've got your slimming clubs, your Weight Watchers, your Slimming World. You've now got lots and lots of people setting up their own consultancies. You've got the NHS offers services too. Then you have calorie counting. You have paleo and keto. Keto's massive. You've got the carnivore, intermittent fasting, liquid diets. These working with PTs and gym instructors, or some people just say, do you know what, I'm just gonna eat sensible, healthy meals and cut out all the crap. There's just so many ways to lose weight, and it's finding what works for you. But I do think that so many people know Weight Watchers, have been through Weight Watchers, have had experiences with Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is in the psyche. I know it's in mine. And that's why it's a bit sad. It is sad to hear that. But totally understand. You have to You know, it's like, when I'm in my garden, I'm looking at the tree at the moment in the back, and it's dead. And I'm like, I need to get my garden around to cut it down and to take it out because it's dead. When something is dead, when something's not performing, when something's not working as it should, it doesn't make sense to keep it. You have to let it go. No matter how hard and difficult that is, you have to go. And then you put your energy and resources into things that are working. And it's the same with, other things in life, gotta let things go. So Tony, you remember the Weight Watchers workshop having at least 60 members at your group, and it started to dwindle 5-6 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, it is. Yeah, and do you know what? That's the way of the world. That's absolutely the way of the world. Things change, people change, um, people do things differently. Um, Lifestyles change, habits change. Yeah, it's all different. It's all different. Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much for being here with me today. You missed the beginning. There. So the breaking news is that Weight Watchers has made the decision to close in Brazil. They're closing Brazil, and they will be leaving the Brazilian market in May, on May the 1st. So that was the breaking news. It's not, I couldn't find it on the internet, and I think that's because it's only a small concern. It's only a small business in Brazil, and I have it on very, very good authority. So it is accurate. But it's a concern because they closed Ireland 3 years ago. Weight Watchers is no longer in Ireland. And then it was either Sweden or Switzerland that 18 months, 2 years ago, they closed all studio workshops, and now they just have virtual workshops. And now it's been announced that they are leaving Brazil. So it begs the question, what is happening? What is happening? And my thoughts, very much like Nita's, I do think that they are strengthening the business where they have contracts, such as in the UK and in America. I don't know about Europe, don't know about Australia and Canada, but I can't see Weight Watchers leaving or closing its doors in the UK. I really can't see that. However, what I can see is Weight Watchers closing all studio workshops and just running their business online. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I hear you. You don't want Weight Watchers to close. I hear you. None of us do. None of us do. But they've made that decision to close in Brazil. They closed in Ireland, and they also closed all their studio workshops in it was either Sweden or Switzerland, and they've gone online. They're not in Brazil. They're not even going to be online. The business is completely closing. No studio workshops and no virtual workshops. All the staff, every member, coach, back office is going to be made redundant. It's very sad, and they're exiting on the 1st of May. So I imagine they're all going through redundancy processes at the moment. So it's very sad. My heart goes out to all of those coaches, all the staff, but also all the members who are losing that facility. But I really honestly cannot see Weight Watchers closing entirely in the UK or in America or in Canada. Those are the biggest markets. But I can see, and I've got no insider knowledge on this. This is just my view and my perspective. I can see in the next couple of years Weight Watchers closing their studio workshops and just focusing on online and delivering the contracts that they've got, or yeah, with the NHS. So that's the news. That is the news, guys. I would love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know your comments. What do you think? What do you think? Pop it in the comments box when this video goes live. So, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I do appreciate you. It is a time of concern for a company that we've all grown with, that has a place in our hearts. Yeah, sad times, but as I say, I understand why they've done that, and they haven't given any specific details, but there's been a lot of change, a lot of change. So, you know, we'll see. We will see what happens in the future. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that whatever you do the rest of this Sunday afternoon, you have a lovely, lovely time. My schedule is changing from tomorrow. I go into training for 5 weeks. So I still intend to do a live every day. It may be very short. It might only be like a 10-minute live at lunchtime, or in the morning, or in the evening. It'll be short. It may be longer. I don't know. I have to see what my schedule looks like and my energy levels as well for the next 5 weeks. But it is still my intention to continue growing and building this channel, and to launch all those exciting things that I have coming at the end of May. So what I will also be doing is putting out some videos. So the lives that I've previously recorded, I do repurpose them and upload them as videos, because sometimes people say they can't find the lives. So that's why I repurpose them as videos. So on days that I'm really struggling to do a live, there will be content. So I can assure you guys, there will be some form of content from me every single day, either a video or alive. But it is all my effort to be committed and to staying consistent. So please bear with me over the next couple of weeks, and I will obviously keep in touch with you and let you know what I'm doing and how it's going. But please continue to support the channel. And the best way to do that is to watch another video or watch another live. Watch it, listen to it, use it as a podcast, or if all else fails, put it on at night and let it run. Let it run while you're sleeping. It just all helps to build the watch time and help the channel grow. Also, give the video a like as well. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. That way it helps the algorithm as well to put this video out to more people. And also feel free to share this video. So guys, that is it from me. I am off to have some dinner, and I've got to go clean my fish tanks as well. I've got 2 fish tanks. I need to sort those out. So I've got a busy afternoon, and then I'm going to relax ahead of my new schedule for the next couple of weeks. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all very, very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.